Welcome to Intermediate Blending, a follow-up series to Beginning to Blend. I'm JoRaSe, your host for this series, just like the last. Now, let's delve in and begin. Welcome back to Intermediate Blending with me, JoRaSe. Last time we did this gear setup using the non-armature method, and today we're going to do it with the armature method. So what we need to basically do is, one, I need to get screencast keys turned on. So let's go ahead and do that. So you all can see what I'm doing. And now we need to actually get going. First thing is to make sure everything is aligned properly with the origin points. So I've already got mine lined up on the x-axis and the z-axis. Need to make sure they're lined up on the y-axis as well. So let's do that. And this one as well. And now just slide them both forward. Go into side view and wireframe. And just tweak them to where they're in the right spots, like so. And like so. So there we go. Now to add in the armature. The way I find it best to do these, if you want to do it quick, is to literally take the individual pieces of your model, in this case the frame and the gears, and move them as far away as possible, like so. You could call this an exploded view. Basically, you're just wanting everything to be as far away, so when you apply automatic weights to the armature and to the mesh, nothing interferes with each other. So now that we've got that, on the left, go down to animation. I'm getting ahead of myself. Want to go to create and add in an armature. It's under the other category. And now on the right, you'll see the stickman figure. That's object data. We want to activate the X-ray option so we can see our armature through our mesh. So the first bone is just going to be our base. Hit the tab button and we're going to select everything to get that armature joint selected and duplicate it. And pull it over to one of the gears. And we want the center to be pretty much in the center of our gear. Might be best to go into wireframe to be able to see it clearer. And what we're wanting is to have the horizontal of the ball here on the armature joint line up with the horizontal line here on the mesh. and the same with the vertical. So once we get one lined up, and we can use the box select tool, it gives a nice straight line across the screen to see if we're in line or not. And this one needs to come down a touch on the Z. So let's do that and test it again. That looks good. Let's now do the same with the Z. Check it. And move it over 2 on the X. Check it again. That one's lined up. So now let's get it on the Y as well. And now we can tab in, or forgot we were in edit mode. We want to grab the top ball and line it up with one of the gear teeth. And now we're going to do the same with the other gear. Copy the base armature bone, slide it on over, zoom in, use the box select tool using the B button to check for alignment. And get it lined up. So that's the X and get the Z lined up. There we go. Get it lined up with the gear on the Y axis, like so. Grab the top one and slide it over. Now we've got our armature set up. We can go into object mode and select all of the mesh parts followed by the armature. And now Control P. We want to set the parent to armature deform with automatic weights. And now you may be thinking, well, that's fine and good, but everything's exploded still. We now need to go and move everything to where it needs to be. So hit the Tab key and select the first gear armature piece. Slide it all the way in, like so. Trying to get the midpoint here lined up with the center of the gear peg. So that looks good that way and that way as well. And now we're going to do the same with this one. And that looks good. So now we can tab back to object mode and grab our gear and slide it over. And line it up with the top and bottom like so. And then do the same with the other one. Now, we want to only animate 100 frames. So we're going to go down here to the animation section of Blender, and where it says end, we want to click there and type in 100. That limits the amount of frames per animation. To 100. Now we want to select the armature and go into pose mode. Select all of the armature, and we're going to insert a keyframe. This is the first keyframe, and now we want to advance to frame 20. So just use the right arrow on the keyboard to get to frame 20. And now we're going to rotate rotate on the y-axis, or no, move on the y-axis. Nope, rotate. So we're going to rotate 2 teeth. And now we're going to insert our keyframe. Grab the other gear and rotate it on the Y by 2. So there's 1 and 2. And now we're going to insert our keyframe for that one. And I was afraid I had done that. I forgot to lock it down to the y-axis so it rotated the entire thing. If we delete the keyframe and then rotate it, making sure it's locked in on the Y by 2, so we get there, and now we lock our keyframe in. We can test it and see that it works. Now we're going to do this again to frame 40, advance it to frame 40, and we're going to rotate this bottom one on the Y, another 2, so 1, 2, and go ahead and make sure we insert our keyframe. Do the same on the top. And insert our keyframe. Advance it forward another 20. Rotate on the Y. 1, 2. Lock it in place. Grab the bottom. Rotate it on the Y. 1, 2 teeth advanced. Insert keyframe and advance it another 20. Rotate on the Y. 1, 2 teeth. Insert keyframe. Grab. Rotate on the Y. 1, 2 teeth. Insert keyframe. And finally advance it to frame 100. Rotate on the Y, advance 2, insert keyframe, rotate on the Y, advance 2, and insert keyframe. So now let's go to the very first frame and play it through. And there we go. And we can unselect X-ray over here to hide the armature. And there we have a rotating set of gears using Armature this time. That's all for this session of Polygonal Art with JoRaSe. If you enjoyed what you saw, how about giving this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos from me. In the video description below, you'll find my Patreon link. Feel free to check it out. Now, on to the credits.